Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya
With all the efforts from the devotees and the desire of Sri Guru Prabhu and all the other Vaishnava, we are continuing with the Bhagavad Gita evening class. So today we will read the chapter 1, verse number 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Pasya Pashyaitam Panduputranam
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Vyudham Drupada Putrena
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Tava Sishyena Dhimata
Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pashyaitam Panduputranam
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Acharya Mahitam Chamum
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Vyudham Drupada Putrena
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Tava Sishyena Dhimata
Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Acharya Mahitim Chamum
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Tava Sishyena Dhimata
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Acharya Mahatim Cham
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Vyudham Drupada Putrena
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Tava Sishyena Dhimata
Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Pasyetam Panduputranam
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Acharya Mahatim Chamum
Vyudham Drupada Putrena
Vyudam Drupada Putrena
Tava Sishyena Dhimata
Tava Shishyena Dhimata
Pasya,
Pashya,
behold,
behold,
Etam,
Etam, this,
Panduputrana,
Panduputrana
of the son of Pandu,
of the sons of Pandu,
Acharya,
Acharya,
O teacher,
O teachers,
Mahatim,
Mahatim,
great,
great,
Chamum,
Chamum,
military force,
military force,
Vyudham,
Vyudham,
arranged, Drupad Putrina,
Drupada Putrena,
by the son of Drupada,
by the son of Drupada,
Tava,
Tava,
your
your
Shishyena,
Shishyena,
disciple,
disciple,
Dhimata,
Dhimata,
very intelligent,
very intelligent.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your own intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport recognition by the Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for the military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was the most affectionate and brilliant student. Dronacharya was warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arrayed by your own intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Hare Krishna. So I know that all the few of the Dhurandhars of Bhagavad Gita are also sitting in the class. So before we read the details of this particular shloka, where very diplomatically Duryodhana is kind of pointing out and alerting Dronacharya and reminding him certain things. The another way of looking at this is that while we know that Duryodhana was very well equipped in terms of the military forces, and there were so many powers which he was possessing as a king, which from a material concept was kind of a assurance of his win. So like Bhishma Pitamaha was favoring Duryodhana, yes, and a warrior who was known as one of the most victorious warrior of his time, with the benediction that he can choose the time of his death. So, which was a kind of like, if everyone will die, but if Bhishma Pitamaha will continue, and the loyalty of Bhishma Pitamaha was not something which can be questioned. And that Bhishma Pitamaha was favoring Duryodhana. So likewise, there were so many different ways, if you can look at it, like the presence of Karna, or Duryodhana himself was so expert in the political affairs, and in terms of the strength of Kauravas was apparently very very high if we compare with the Pandus. But still, what was the reason that Duryodhana was still trying to convince his leaders, like Dronacharya, and we see that he has done the similar thing for Bhishma Pitamaha as well. So if you look at it, why he would do that? Yes? If someone is aware of that he is having strength, then this awareness should also bring the confidence. Yes? And then you will not take these kind of steps, and you will not show the distrust in his own leadership. Yes? And those leaders were not some normal leaders, they were well-known leaders. Yes? So this signifies one part. So this signifies two things. One is that somewhere this was showing the insecurity within Duryodhana, that he wanted to be sure. Yes, why we want to become sure about it? Yes, we often, in many of the aspects in our life, we tell some people, be sure about it. Are you sure about it? Are you really sure about it? When we talk like this, when we are not sure about it. Yes? When we are sure about it, then we don't talk about it. Okay, be sure about it. But when we are repeatedly going to pole to pole and requesting people, okay, please take care, it means that somewhere you are not sure about it, that things might go wrong. Yes, that is one aspect. The second aside, so this is one way of understanding it. The another way of understanding this particular situation is that Pandavas were consistently being trapped into different troubles. Yes, by Kauravas consistently for many years. Yes, and they had this history that whatever kind of trouble you make for them, they will figure out a way out of it. Yes, so to take the example of Lakshagre or the gamble, or they wanted to insult Draupadi. Yes, and every single time they tried to defeat them by any political or diplomatic means, they came up with a very stronger way, because always Krishna was on their side. Yes. So that was also one of the way to look at it. Yes, that Duryodhana was aware of that historically, whenever we try to do something against Pandavas, they came up very strong, and they always had some way, somehow or other they made it. But this time, if something goes wrong, then the defeat will be much bigger. Yes, and the third angle of looking at the same situation is that when Duryodhana saw right in the battlefield the kind of arrangements is being done, although he was an enemy, he was impressed. He was impressed with fear. So he's pointing out, yes, that this entire arrangement, what you see, is done by your own Shishya, which means that Duryodhana is noticing it, that such a arrangement has been done, and this arrangement was so prominent that Duryodhana, who was the king and who was the Mukhya Senapati, or who was the king and representing Kauravas, it came into his notice that the arrangements of Pandavas is so strong. Yes. So, for those who are practicing spiritual life, like all of us, yes, we all are a kind of spiritual warriors. Yes, at our different capacities. Correct? And our way of living and our thought process is similarly, it is an announcement from our side, is the war against Maya. This is what we do every single day. Every single day when we wake up in the morning, and every single day when we sleep in the night, if a person is spiritually awake, he is on war. Yes, because the entire world is designed to keep you engaged and distracted from Krishna. The whole setup is like this. Yes, and every single day when you start, if you are spiritually awake, you have to be careful and watchful every single hour of your life that you don't get defeated. Sometimes we may get defeated, sometimes we win. Yes, but that war is every single day. Isn't it? Yes. So what is required for a war? This Pandavas are explaining or exemplifying. So what Pandavas consistently throughout their life, yes, you take the life of all the Pandavas, you look at individually. You take example of Bhima, you take example of Yudhishthira, you take example of Arjuna. What they exemplifies? Anybody? What is the common thing which you find in Pandava's life? If you look at see the troubles. So I think in the last Sunday's class also I was discussing this. Yes, that troubles. So the Pandava's life and Kaurava's life. Yes, these are two poles of lives. Yes, one is the life of diplomacy and kingdom, which they have stolen. Second were the group of eligible, righteous people trying to get their space back. Okay, and that also on the wish of the Lord. Yes, but you see that in both of these cases, the troubles were common. There were a lot of troubles. Maybe their shapes were different. Yes, Duryodhana was always frustrated, always angry, always trying to create some dubious plans and how to harm Pandava. He was always busy into that anxious mood. Yes, and he always felt that his father has been cheated, and he always full of negativity throughout his life till he died. Right? And if you look at the life of Pandavas from a material perspective, it looks even worse. So they have been practically cheated since their early childhood. Yes, their mother was insulted, cheated, faced the partial behavior, yes, throughout the life. Then when they were in Gurukul, they have faced lot of troubles, and not the simple troubles, they were even faced the life threats. Yes, when they grown up, they have been not treated well. Not for 1, 2, 3 years, for years and years. Yes, they have been cheated. Then they would try to, attempted for murder. Yes, they escaped from there. Then they have been sent to the jungle. So a person who is already living in lot of comfort, and you just throw him to, jungle or in some very austere life. Yes, along with the wife and all. It's difficult. Yes, but they did it. Yes, so you see that troubles are there in this side and that side. Yes, but what was holding? What was the driving factor for Pandavas?
Dependence on Krishna.
Always take shelter of Krishna.
Yeah, so that we see because we are looking at it more from our own biased way from Bhagavad Gita and from a Krishna consciousness perspective. Yes, because Krishna was always there and he was always there to protect them and he did protect it. But what was their personality trait? So see, Krishna is there for us also. Yes, but what that personality trait which Pandavas carries always? Sorry?
They believed in, say, they always obeyed the elders. They always obeyed the orders from the elders and whatever the elders is told. Their mother told, Krishna Pitama told, or even Dhritarashtra told. They were indifferent to Dhritarashtra also, even after all these things. So somewhere they have followed the teachings, and they never lost hope probably. They had that hope because they were walking in the right path.
Okay, it's a very, very valid point, that walking in the right path. Okay, so to walk to the right path, you should know the right path. That is the fundamental takeaway. Yes. Any other point?
So whatever the teachings, like in the Gurukul, the teacher has taught him. So they followed very good way, like Duryodhana or Kaurava also taught in the same school.
See, both followed. See, Duryodhana had such a power that he very well challenged Bhima. Isn't it? See how Duryodhana died, yes? You know that, yes? They had a very strong fight between Duryodhana and Bhima. Yes?
And they know the difference between good and bad, right and wrong. So
Yeah.
they followed that path.
Yes, yes. So see that so the irony is that when people do something wrong, yes, sometimes they are so blinded that they feel that they are doing right. Yes? But one thing which was very strong in Pandavas is that fearlessness to follow the Siddhanta. The path, what you said, that is the right path. Yes? They were fearless. Always. They were fearlessly following the Siddhanta. From day 0 to last day. Yes, so they were very clear that they don't have to fear. If they know that they are right, yes, and they were right because Krishna was their side. So Dharma Siddhanta they followed fearlessly, and while they followed the Siddhanta fearlessly, they have not followed the Siddhanta tactlessly. It's a very important thing to understand that being fearless doesn't mean being tactless. Getting the point? So like we all work for corporates, yes? We all work for corporates. Or somewhere we are working, maybe we are doing some business or whatever it is. Now while we do that, so say for example you are having a very annoying boss. Okay, who crib a lot, who shout a lot and all. Okay? And if you are a devotee. Correct? Now, and if that person with whom you work, and if that person happens to be your boss or your senior, and if that person is showing some atheistic characters or is not very favorable to your spiritual life, yes, that does not mean that you will give up your spiritual life. that is your fearlessness. You will be fearless. Whatever somebody is saying, your boss or boss's boss or whoever is. But you know that you have a faith in Krishna, faith in Bhagavad Gita and faith in Prabhupada's teaching. You will continue your spiritual life. That is your fearlessness. But you cannot go to his cabin and tell, I am fearless, I follow Bhagavad Gita, you go to hell. That is not tactic, that is tactless. Yes? So you will manage that very tactfully. Yes? So similarly, while Pandavas were fearless always, but they were very perfect on their material aspects, and they have arranged the battlefield and the arrangement of the war so perfectly, so tactfully, that even Duryodhana was impressed. Wow, what this? Because that's why he was pointing to Dronacharya. Let's see. So we have a lot of things, but see the kind of arrangement these people have made. Yes, and it's a very subtle message for us also. Yes. So while we do our spiritual practices fearlessly, we should not lose the tactfulness. Because if we lose the tactfulness, that becomes our weakness and we can be pulled down. So we should be very pakka in whatever we do. So that we do that pakka so that our spiritual life goes smoothly. If we can't create this, then we need to develop that skill so that our tactfulness should go in parallel with your fearlessness when you execute spiritual life. That is one part. Okay. Then coming to the next part or more core part is that this very story of Maharaj Drupad and the friendship of Dronacharya is very interesting. Yes. So both Maharaj Drupad and Dronacharya, they were childhood friends. Yes? And they were in the same Gurukul, studying together. And they become very close friends in the Gurukul. So when they were departing, then Drupad told that any time in your life you need some help, come to me. I'm your friend, I will help you. Yes. So later on, once Dronacharya was in trouble, so he went. He didn't want to go, but then situations forced him to go, and he went there and he asked that, like, you're my friend, and you told me that when I'm in trouble you can come to me. So that's why I'm here, my friend. Then Rupert said, what? The friendship is done with equality. You are a very Brahman, I am a king. So there can't be any friendship. There can't be any friendship between you and me. So that insulted very bad. Dronacharya was very angry internally, he felt very insulted. And then he planned. Yes? And then he joined where? Hastinapur as a guru and taught them both. So he has given the knowledge to both Kauravas and Pandavas. Yes? But his aim was clear, that I will train and I will take the revenge. Yes? And then when he trained all the Kauravas and all the Pandavas, then first he has given chance to Kauravas to go when they completed the course. So in Guru Dakshina he said, okay, go and defeat Drupad and bring it in front of me. Yes? But Kauravas could not do that. Yes? And then he requested to Pandavas. Then they went, and then Pandavas defeated. Yes? So that insulted Drupad. Yes? And then he said, okay, now our friendship can't be equal because you lost everything. And I am rich, Dronacharya said. So I give you half of the thing in my donation. Yes. So for a Kshatriya it is even more. Yes. So if you take the life out of a Kshatriya, it is considered to be victorious. Yes. But you give the life and the money in donation to Kshatriya, it is worse than death. So he was even more angry. Yes. So then he did a yajna. Yes. And the purpose of that yajna is to defeat Dronacharya. Yes. And then who came?
Drishtadyumna.
Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna. Yes. And this Drishtadyumna was the main architect who designed things to defeat Dronacharya. And who gave the training to Drishtadyumna? Dronacharya himself. Because he went and there, because ultimately Dronacharya was a saint, yes. He was not having attachment to money or thing, but he was a saint in heart, right? And he didn't compromise on his Siddhanta. Right? So when he came, he knew that ultimately this will work against me. But then somebody came to him to get the knowledge, and he departed the knowledge. Yes. So Duryodhana is very diplomatically, he's taunting him, he's sarcastically telling him, you see, this is all because of you, this is happening. Because you had some personal issues with Drupad, and then this, then that, and last May, because of this Drishtadyumna came, and now he created this much of complicacy, which is so impressive, and now I have to manage with it. So he was basically trying to pump Dronacharya. Okay, that you are guru, you are soft-hearted, all those is fine, but this whole problem, you are the reason. This is what he is telling in this shloka, very sarcastically. Yes, you see, very sarcastically, yes. So expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. You can simply tell this, there is a military arrangement is done, but he is telling your intelligent disciple. So your intelligent disciple is basically the inverted commas. But because that intelligent disciple is who? Drishtadyumna, who is son of Drupad, who is his enemy. So he is basically telling that your enemy and his son, whom you trained, created this problem for me. Otherwise, I would have win. So better you fight properly now, at least. So ho gaya, that is fine. But at least now you fight properly, so we win. That was the message. Yes. So one very interesting thing which you see in Mahabharata, in lot of the characters. So all these characters like Dronacharya, like Vishnu Pitama, or Vidur to an extent is the exception in that, Kripacharya. Yeah. So Vidur was not part of the entire battle. He decided, okay, I am Dasiputra, so I can opt out of this entire situation. So he really behaved very intelligently. But these rest of the exalted personality, what problem you see in these personalities from your analysis? Let it be Dronacharya, let it be Bhishma Pitama, or let it be Karna, for example. They were all, they were very strong, well equipped, not only with the military education, but from the knowledge perspective also. They are very knowledgeable, yes. So what was the problem?
Taking side of other. Taking side of other.
Taking side of the devil, yes, to the extent, yes. But why?
They took vow without considering good or bad.
They took vows and yes, yeah. So what?
Whatever material indebtedness they had, for that they were fighting.
Yeah, but see, they had a lot of knowledge, yes, they were much more scholarly than what we are. Yes, we can't compare our understanding, and we are actually not even eligible to even discuss that what they were, yes? Vishnu Pitama. See, Vishnu Pitama, so there is a story, post Mahabharata. Yes? So post Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj went to the camp. Yes? And he sees that Lord Krishna is sitting in meditation. Have you ever seen Lord Krishna sitting in meditation? What Yudhishthira Maharaj saw? Imagine. Yes? So Yudhishthira Maharaj was very surprised. He said that whole world, the entire cosmic manifestation is on your feet. Yes, you are the source of meditation. Yes, on whom you are meditating. What is for you to meditate? Yes, and when Krishna opened his eyes, yes, his eyes were filled with tears. And he says, so then he praises, yes, that one of the best among the human. Yes, and a devotee which is very close to my heart. Yes, who is a Gangaputra. That Gangaputra Bhishma is lying today there in arrowed bed. And in such a painful state, he is not crying because of the pain. He is still crying because of the separation from me. And this separation is bringing tears in my eyes. And I am not able to think other than meeting Gangaputra. And then Krishna went and met Gangaputra. Yes, to liberate him. Yes? So this was the positioning of Vishnu Pitama. Yes, that Krishna was meditating on him. Yes, so such an exalted personalities were there. Yes, but there is another side. Yes, and although these are the leelas of these great exalted personalities, that whatever we do in our, if I put it in a very simplified manner, yes, so whatever we do in the execution of our material life, yes, if our ego or our own self-proclaimed positioning becomes inhibitory in the service, this becomes a trouble, which is common for all of us also. So the biggest inhibition between us and our service is our own self-proclaimed positioning of certain things, which we are not able to remove because of our own ego. Yes? So like Vishnu Pitama, like Ravi Prabhu said, Vishnu Pitama he has taken a pratigya. Whose pratigya? His own pratigya. Yes? Krishna not advised Vishnu Pitama, you take this pratigya, that you will always be securing Hastinapur. Krishna never advised it. It was his own decision. Krishna supported it. Yes, and still Vishnu Pitama got liberated because he was a pure devotee and he was liberated. Yes. Similarly, it was not that Dronacharya was not aware of that who Krishna is. Yes. Likewise, it is not that we don't know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Yes. But it's at the different levels we struggle, correct? Certain things knowingly and unknowingly. Yes. Because our own self-defined, yes, sometimes it is called manodharma, sometimes our own egoistic barriers, sometimes it is something else, sometimes our behavior, sometimes our something. But this is all being created with our own desire, our own sweet desire, which becomes not so sweet in our spiritual life. And then it becomes very complicated. Apparently. Yes? So somebody can ask that if Krishna is so powerful and if he can really change things, everything, then why don't he just change his desire? Anybody? Why don't Krishna just change his desire? So for example, I know that okay, I will be doing this in service of the Lord, but then there are certain limitations I have, which is my own limitations, my own desires, limitations, my own inhibitions. Why don't Krishna just remove all of them?
Free will he given to us.
Yeah, but why can't he just tweak it? Just put a switch on and we become a devotee, pure devotees. Krishna can do anything, correct? See, we at times we say that spiritual life. So there are two type of mercifulness in spiritual life, correct? One is
Okay.
kripa. Yes? And second is sadhana. Yes? So spiritual life is grown by these two forces, correct? Kripa and sadhana. Yes? Ultimately, it is only kripa. Because sadhana karke bhi last mein you need to kripa, correct? Isn't it? Yes? So if somebody is thinking that sadhana, again that is ego, right? I do this, correct? No. Ultimately, so with the sadhana you basically please. Correct? And with that you get the mercy, and with that mercy you become better devotee. This is how it works, correct? For spiritual life, this is how it improves. Yes. So question comes that when we know that we want to become a devotee, and we also know that these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factors which is stopping me to become a very good devotee. Yes? And then we ask Krishna to remove these 5. Why Krishna just don't remove it? Why Krishna continue to give you your free will in your control? That is the question.
Freedom.
Yeah, but why? Why Krishna don't take this freedom, this free will?
Promise that when we sent back here, right? Sorry. That was the promise that, it's free will, right? So
Yeah.
don't interfere.
Yeah, but then now we are asking, correct? So we pray to Chandravika Girdhari that I have this problem and this is stopping me to, serve you better. Just take it away.
Krishna makes us strong by giving the challenges, so that our desire becomes genuine.
Yes.
You need to take some action to remove it. Just wishing or praying will not help.
But Krishna can do anything, correct?
person who loves use that freedom to choose
Yes. Because if you withdraw freedom, if you withdraw free will, see the entire process of spiritual life is what? The process of spiritual life is developing relationship. It's a process of developing relationship, correct? The spiritual life is what? The spiritual life is developing a relationship with the Lord. This is the process. Yes? In a process of developing a relationship, the minimum criteria is to maintain a free will. Because if I take the free will from you, then you cannot develop prem. You can develop slavery. Correct? But prem you cannot develop. Yes? So that's why Krishna tells you, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये ठीक नहीं है. These are the things which are problematic. Yes? But he just don't pluck it out. He will tell you, do this, do this, do this. Every time, every day. Every time you will ask. Yes? He will tell only when you ask. Yes? Sometimes you don't even ask. If you don't ask, then he will not even tell. Yes? So because Krishna's love is unconditional, correct? He will love you. Even if you don't, still he will love you, correct? That's why we are able to breathe. Yes? So his love is unconditional. Yes, but he can't, because see, so like the nature of water is what? Liquidity. Taralta is the dharma of a water, correct? What is the nature of fire? Is heat. You can't say if there is no heat, there can't be fire. You can't be fire without heat, correct? It's a dharma. Similarly, this free will is a dharma of prem. It has to be free. I have to love somebody with my own heart. Not that somebody is forcing me to. The force and love doesn't go together, correct? So that's why Krishna gives this free will always, yes, and always give us choice to choose here and there. Yes, Krishna Chela, Maya Chela. You have to keep on doing this. Yes, and you need to keep on practicing. Yes, and then he sets the examples also. That such an exalted personalities. Yes, so see, so as we started, so like when, so Pandavas has gone through a lot of troubles. They have also gone through a lot of troubles, correct? But every time when they came out of this trouble, they become more and more stronger, better and better devotees. Every time they felt, after each episode, that how much involved Krishna is in their life. Every time. How personally Krishna is taking care of them. So like the example of Akshay Patra, right? Yes, they were in such a deep trouble. Correct? Their entire austerity, all practices could have completely got vanished. Yes, had it been Durvasa Muni came back. Yes, and Krishna personally, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Krishna personally came to their house. Yes, and pulled them out of the trouble. It's worth having such problem, correct? Which involves Krishna's personal intervention. Yes, very good. And then Kunti Maharaj later on told, yes, after the Mahabharata, like we had so much of troubles, so much of problems, this problem, that problem, my husband died, my son was completely, I see them suffering, I saw my grandsons are dying, and like what all problems a lady can face in this earth, you have shown me every time, everything in my this lifetime. Since I got into touch with you. But still, you are always there, personally. And now when this is getting settled and you are going away, what kind of victory it is? Better why we have all these problems. Yes, Prabhupada has written this book, yes, Let There Be Calamities. There's a book from, yes, Teachings of Kunti Maharani, there's a book from Prabhupada, and there's a chapter, Let There Be Calamities. This is how Kunti Maharani is explaining. So this is the mindset of a devotee. Yes, so their troubles and the trouble of Kauravas are different. The trouble of a materialistic man is very frustrating, is very negative. The trouble of Duryodhana was not similar to the trouble of Kunti Maharani. Because Kunti Maharani's troubles were actually making her more closer to Krishna versus trouble of Duryodhana, which was keeping him more and more away. Yes, so troubles can be there. Yes, but if we are spiritually inclined, we need to see that when we go through those troubles and come out of those troubles, are becoming more and more absorbed in Krishna consciousness during the process and after the process. Then we are good. But if that trouble is confusing us, मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है? Yes, sometimes those who are new into spiritual life, they feel why it is happening with me. They become rebellious towards Krishna. Yes, so Krishna set this example. Yes, that it is Name Bhaktya Pranashanti. My devotees, they never vanish. He takes care of that, and he proves it in Bhagavad Gita. Yes, so So this particular shloka, when we are starting the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, and in initial few shlokas when it is showing the mindset of Duryodhana, which is very diplomatic, very politically right, and just trying to showcase his intelligence, and giving a kind of certain instruction to his own parental gurus and people who are at the position of his parents. It carries no value. So anything you possess, yes, whatever intelligence or diplomacy or so-called strength, yes, how much intelligent or how much right and sophisticated it might appear, yes, but at the end it doesn't value much if that is not absorbing you in your spiritual life and making you a better devotee, versus you might not be so perfect and maybe apparently on the lower side or on a weaker side of the situation, yeah, or more troubled side of the world, but if your situation is making you more closer to the Lord or more closer to Krishna and makes you a better devotee over the period, it is always a better proposition, because you are on the right path, and if you will continue, you will reach the right destination. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question? I will try to. If there is any question.
Prabhuji, you nicely explained that when we have the calamities, so these are actually opportunities for us to realize Krishna. You very nicely gave the example of how Akshay Patra, if Krishna comes to protect us, then that such problems are invited. But practically, when we see in our life, when there are some challenges we face internally, yourself or externally, so that's one thing, we are not able to overcome those challenges. Other side, we see in the world, people, they seem to be happily enjoying. So they are enjoying, but then we are, even in Krishna consciousness, we are still struggling after so much practice. So we don't realize that Krishna is coming to us, like for Akshaya. So how can we get that enthusiasm to carry on?
See, there are so many ways we can understand this. One is, we need to understand the enjoyment. This term enjoyment, see, when I personally see somebody is drinking, yes, I don't feel he's enjoying. He might be feeling he's enjoying, but I personally don't feel that he's enjoying. Yes? So one who understands Bhagavad Gita, his definition of enjoyment is changes at the first place. If that is not changing, yes, it means we are still finding our happiness in sense gratification. That's why we differentiate. I am suffering with enjoying. Yes. So in a dark room on Friday night, yes, people are drinking, eating meat, yes, and jumping like monkeys. Yes, we call it pub. Yes, and we tell that they are enjoying. I don't think that is enjoyment. If you read Bhagavad Gita properly, I mean, you mean like for that matter anybody, yes? Yes. So first thing that for a devotee, the definition of enjoyment is right. Yes. So sensual excitement should not be considered as enjoyment. Right? Yes. So most of the people whom we see enjoying is basically busy agitating their own senses by pain. Right? They pay to agitate themselves.
They surrender to the senses. Yeah. They surrender to the senses.
Yeah, so they pay to agitate themselves, correct? Because they feel that agitation is enjoyment. Yes? And that's why that is very fluctuating. Yes, material context में whatever enjoyment so-called you define, whether it is drinking or like this woman wine and maybe luxury and whatever people do, yes. When we do it, in our limited capacity, whatever we have, yes, we know how much we struggle, correct? To maintain a material life, we need to put a lot of effort, correct? Doesn't come easy, correct? Doesn't come free, even for us. Do you think it is coming free for them? No. They have to effort, they have to put a lot of effort, and yes, that is one way of understanding it. That being a devotee, we should understand that material thing for us is, as I was explaining, is a tact. It's just a tact for us to keep things in place. It doesn't excite us. It should not, ideally. You should be able to sleep here, wake up, do bath and Mangala Aarti. If situation is like that you are sleeping on a soft bed, same thing, sleep is sleep, wake up, bath and Mangala Aarti. Correct? So comfort and sensual satisfaction should not agitate you. That's the fundamental. If this fundamental is clear, then 80% comparisons will go away. Because, see, till something material is impressing you, yes, it is showing our interest in that agitation. Isn't it? Yes, somewhere deep in our heart, we are hankering that. That's why we are comparing.
Attachment.
उसके पास है, मेरे पास नहीं है. This is what we are telling. Yes. So then we are not in depth of Krishna consciousness. That's why these confusions are arising. That is one part. That is one side. So another way of understanding is that we all as a human are very judgmental and decisive around the situations. Yes? We see things from our calendars and our spectrums. Correct? So we see right now, I see last 6 months, this person is in my opinion, he is a sinner and he is enjoying. Why? But there are two aspects. Do we have the right to ask this question why? Yes? So say somebody is coming up in this world with lot of positive previous lives karma. And they are so much accumulated that this 70 years he would need to get rid of this good karma of last life. And then in next life he will become a pig, which you won't be able to see. And you are watching it only in 6 months. This is Krishna's calculation. Right? We just see a moment and try to calculate from our perspective. Because you are into going through your karma cycle. Somebody else is going his karma cycle. Somebody else is going different karma cycle. So today we were doing we were having some discussion with some medical team and all, and with them we went to one place where very old age people, and there's a group who is taking care of a lot of old age people in Bangalore and all. So I saw one place. This is of this size, this size, 1/4 of this hall, and there were 67 ladies living in bank. This bank, what is called this beds? Bunk banks. 67 in the square. And they were all ladies were about 65-70 years. Disowned by their children and living there. And they were all being plugged there by some police calls, or they were on the road. Very pathetic. I was shaken to see that this is also kind of life people are living in Bangalore. I'm not talking about somewhere else. Yes. So when you go to hospital, sometime you see that kind of suffering. So this is a very widespread thing. Yes, and everybody is going through some part of their karma cycle, correct? Which we can't justify. Yes, we can't tell ki this person is wrong and still enjoying, because you don't know, like, what is in which phase of karma cycle it is. Yes, but we as a devotee should be very clean that, yeah, if somebody is, being materialistic, yes, apparently in our definition, and is still able to chant 16 rounds in one sitting, yes, without any division and serving devotees and all, then it's very surprising, which is not possible, yes. Yes, but otherwise it should not be a surprising thing for us, in my view. Yes. Thanks. Good answer.
If some person enjoying the programming languages and reading the fictional novel, so what type of sensual satisfaction is getting?
Yeah, so see that every sense of us is having a emotion, correct? Every sense. Yes? You taste something. What happens? That you put a rasgulla in your mouth, and this sweetness will go to your mind, and you will feel wow. Yes, you're hungry. Yes. So when you touch something very soft, yes, you will feel wow. Yes, that emotion of softness will go into your. Yes, you see something beautiful, some nature. Yes, you feel wow, it's nice. Yes. And in mind, all these emotions come together. They get mixed up. Yes, and they create human emotions. Yes, and mind is the biggest sense, so it enjoys it more. Yes, but the problem with enjoyment is that people become very easily bored with it. Yes, so if you are very hungry, you eat one rasgulla, you will feel wow. You eat two, you feel wow. You eat three, you will not feel. Okay, yes, you will 5, then you will feel no. If I give you 6th one, then you will feel torture. The same rasgulla which 15 minutes back was a wow for you, after 20 minutes it was a torture. Okay, now no, I can't eat more than this, correct? Same activity. So mind will start rejecting. No, what, same thing again. Yes. So mind searches for mix. Different. Yes? That's why people create this fiction, fantasies, scientific frictions and all, to agitate your mind in a very differentiated manner. It's nothing but agitation of the mind. That emotion, mixed imagination, which takes your mind to a different world. This Spider-Man, Marvels and all that, yes? Yes, DCs and all. Why these all characters are there, correct? Yes, because they take your mind to the world which doesn't exist. But your mind wants to be there. Yes? So Krishna Loka is mythology, which is real. It has been called myth. So Hanumanji is going to Sri Lanka and burning the Lanka to get the mother Sita back is mythology. But Dr. Strange is right. What kind of hypocrisy it is? So when we know it is wrong, proven that this is a imagination, yes, that we believe that this is right, Spider-Man or whatever Marvel characters and all, yes, that we feel they are real, or one day they can be real. Yes, and which is real? Why? Because which is real, in order to achieve that, you have to control the mind. And here you don't have to control the mind, you just have to spend money. And make it more uncontrolled. So this is how they play with our psychology. It's a trap. Okay, I think We are on 8 Prasad. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.